Hey, welcome to the Tarqaron All-Stars Season 2 reunion special. All right, we didn't do one the first
Whew.
season, but here we
Yeah.
are.
All right. Here we are. Here we are indeed.
We have
Um.
three of the competitors on the season here, actually. No hosts. A little
Yeah.
chaotic, a little wild. Weren't able to swing any of the other castmates for this. No, everyone's schedules were booked. Booked.
They're booked. I said book sold out. They were. We would have sold out this whole auditorium if we were able to get probably more than us.
hmm
But
But now
yeah.
it's like we're doing a weird, like, TED Talk style reunion. Very intimate. All right.
Yeah.
Rusty, thank you for joining us. You didn't get to be a part of the true Endgame Alliance. No hard feelings. It's just a game. It was just a game.
It's just a game.
Just a game.
It's more than a game, actually, Bob. Bob. Boston Rob.
Bob.
It's more than a game, all right?
I said I'd take you to the end if I could. If I
I'm
could.
going to take a Lex approach with all of this, so be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. I mean, you were the one that got ultimately did kind of get shafted by the at the
hmm
end because it was like me and Zach seemed to have something going on. I don't know why we didn't factor you in. We didn't.
Look,
We
I
didn't.
think there's a big miscommunication here because I felt like me and you we wanted to work with Rusty, and then when
Mm.
we threw that random we threw our two votes on Rusty that one vote just for a little chaos.
Yeah, that was
Everything
that was our chaos. That was us playing Chaos Crew right
for
there.
some reason he didn't trust us after that point.
Yeah.
Um,
How could I, Come on
Rusty
now.
was just there. He was forming the social bonds. So we were playing cutthroat out there. It was
Mm.
just a game for us. Business trip for me.
Well, literally in my notes, as I was watching it, I just said, I'm just here to make friends, I mean, I look at Joe Gardner's face, and it's just like, I just want to be friends with you. I just want to be friends with everyone. And I feel like that was my approach to playing the game. It was just, I want to be a social guy, and I really had no strategic element to what I was playing. I made a couple alliances and I kept true to those to the end, but I never deviated from that, and I think that was the death of me.
Right, right. And we were willing to stab anybody in the back and do whatever it took to get to the end. And ultimately, I got screwed over and got a third place finish when Alec kind of took my spot there. And
Yeah,
I think ultimately is because Alec did get voted out. So he was a more attractive person to take to the end. Who's going to vote for
it's
someone who got
true,
voted out?
especially because you didn't even vote for me in the end. Neither did Con Baby. All my alliances, ones that I had even pre-merge, did not help me. It
So I
was
mean,
pretty
let's
wild.
talk about the big pre-merge alliances that everybody's talking about. Are
Yeah,
uh,
everyone's talking about this season for sure.
Alec and
Oh
Con
yeah.
Baby, the most unlikely duo. Prior to the season, Alec talked a lot of trash on Con Baby on the internet. He put it out
Mm.
there, and
Like, look, I don't think an infant should be playing this game. I don't agree. She's gonna hold us back during challenges. I mean, maybe she doesn't have to eat as much, so that's good, I guess. But I mean,
but
someone's gotta.
you didn't even respect her in her original source material. You didn't
No,
respect
it's
Con
true. I
Baby.
didn't. Not terribly much.
But that's the beauty of Survivors. You bring people together that
Yeah,
otherwise wouldn't be, and you were able to find commonality. You found something in common, as it
I
were.
don't know what it was, but
You said it was their sense of humor,
oh yeah, I would say yeah, I would say
because your
sense of
sense of
humor.
humor
Yeah,
is that of a baby.
yeah, yes.
Very good.
Yeah,
But it was
that
beautiful.
was
I
kind
mean, it
of
was a
it. Yeah.
beautiful thing for people to see, watch unfold. It's like we start the season with a relationship between a grown man and a baby, and then you end the season with the first incestuous winner. You ran the whole gamut there.
The gamut of the human experience. I mean, you get your sad boys. You know, your quiet, strong, silent type, and your sad, pretty boy. Or we're both out very early on. Also,
Right. Well,
um,
you had, and I mean, Joe was actually voted out first too, Joe Gardner, and then you had Hal and Din. They were all
yeah.
pretty silent. Joe seemed to not have his head in the game there, so we
hmm
thought it was just a quiet exit for him. But he found something out there in the outcast tribe and brought it back into the game.
He found his soul. He refound it
He did.
again, a second time.
But Rusty, I wanted to ask you, going into the season, since this
Hmm.
is Tarqaron All-Stars, so Alec and I are very intimately familiar with all these characters. We know them well, but
Absolutely.
you were just thrust into the situation when you went out on the island yourself, and you had to play with this wild cast of characters. I'm interested what your impressions were before you played with them. Who were you aware of? Who was just a complete wild card to you?
Yeah, so if I look at the list, we have the Amore tribe, and the help me out, Alec, is the Liberdicio.
Liberdicio, yes.
All right. So from the Amore tribe that I was kind of pit in here, Clementine, I'm not familiar with because I believe she's from Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind with Jim Carrey.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct? Never
That's
seen
right.
that film. Danny Clayton, I'm very familiar with. Victoria Pedretti of The Haunting of Bly Manor and Haunting of series. Very familiar with her. I'm glad we eventually made an alliance. I'm sure we'll talk about that. Joe Gardner from the more recent Pixar film that I have yet to see, and the name already escapes me.
Soul.
Soul.
I literally referenced it 2 minutes ago.
Well, I only pay attention half the time here when I'm guessing on Tarkaron, but
That's okay.
it's all good.
That's-
It's a lot
Michael
going on.
Corleone, of course, of Godfather fame. Very familiar with Al Pacino and his role playing that character. So I was very familiar with him. Rose, I'm not familiar with. I know you guys recorded a video about this band, if I'm not mistaken.
Blackpink. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So I was unfamiliar with her. Rusty Lewis, a little familiar with that guy. Wanda, I've actually not seen WandaVision yet on Disney Plus. I had a little bit of Marvel burnout post Endgame, so I haven't seen that. So I didn't really know her character outside of, some of the later MCU movies. So not a whole lot of familiarity there. And Zach, I know the guy just a little bit. So for my alliance, or I should say my tribe, there's only a few people that I had somewhat of a background in. So I felt a little kind of out of sorts being thrust into this tribe.
That's tough.
And because of that, I think it only makes sense that I made an alliance with Danny later on because I knew her character from Haunting of Bly Manor. I knew a little bit of background. She was a little goofy. She was a little weird, and I felt like we could connect on the weirdness, and we did. We stayed strong throughout most of the game, and I wish I would have gotten on Michael Corleone's good side early on. I feel like we could have made a running. I could have kind of been he could have been making the shots, but I feel like I could have been calling a lot of the shots behind the scenes and helping him, but made him out to be the bad guy. So then he could have been voted out, and I could have continued on in the game. But you know what? That's the game of Survivor, and I didn't capitalize on that early enough. But I am glad that I made the merge. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, you're obviously very familiar with Survivor strategy and everything, but would you say you're more of a social, like emotional, you could say,
Emotional intelligence.
intelligence?
Yeah.
There it is.
Making emotional connections is definitely a part of the game.
And is that
Mhm.
would you say that's more of your strong suit?
I think so, and I want to play the game of Survivor. Like I'm speaking truth here. This is an actual dream of mine because I am a Survivor super fan. I would consider myself. I've watched just about every season at this point. I remember watching season 1 Borneo when it first aired live on television back in the day. And but I think that would be my downfall as a player because it's tough for me to separate my heart from the game. I get so emotionally attached to these characters and these people because they are people. When we watch through our television screen, we look at them as characters, but behind all of that, they really are people. And I think if I was on the island, it would be tough for me to separate that, and I would get too caught up in the relationships. And so as I watch all these seasons and I almost study each season to season that I watch, I feel like I almost have to separate it. And even watching the simulation here, it's like you have to separate the relationships that you have with these people from the game. And hopefully, if you do make it far enough in the game, understanding that you have a jury that doesn't, attack you because no, there's a difference between the game and relationships you make with people. It's like there's been 40 odd seasons of Survivor now. I would hope you'd understand well enough now that it is just a game. But yeah, no, I'm kind of rambling, but I do think my biggest downfall when playing Survivor would be my ability to not separate my heart from my head when making decisions.
Well, it's a downfall, but it could be a downfall, but it also could be a strength in that you're out there and you're making genuine bonds. So when you go into a tribe like this and you don't know anybody, any of their history, which is more true to form in a Survivor season, it can help because you can like view everybody more objectively, and then you can actually make genuine bonds. Whereas as opposed to just viewing people as chess pieces and
Exactly.
yeah. So I mean, another big relationship people are talking about is obviously I found love out on that island, Rose.
Yeah, yeah. There was some sparks flying, I would say,
I would
but
say so. I think
yeah.
I think a couple things go differently, and we're just as popular and big as Rob and Amber are. Just as big
Yeah,
an impact.
it was kind of a beautiful thing going on there, but you
It
know,
was great. I mean, we got
a little hot and cold there too. It was
Yes.
some emotional roller coasters of episodes going
I don't
on.
know what was going on. We were all confused. I mean, it's a high stress environment here, Survivor, and but through all the troubles and tribulations that brought us closer together. Here, I got something for you. I got something to show you.
Uh-oh.
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 Hold on.
What's going on here?
Is this Sam Riegel style shirt
Bam.
unveiling going on here?
Oh, no way!
Did you get that made just for this?
So, I was
Oh
hoping
my.
I was hoping Rose would be here for the finale. I was gonna do a proposal thing.
No,
She's not
no,
here.
I'm sorry.
So.
It's a shame.
She's
That's a
busy
shame.
shooting for Tiffany's of.
Tiffany, she is doing big things. For some reason, we haven't connected too much outside of the game. I don't know what's up
Maybe.
there, but
Slightly different social standings, possibly.
it's tough. It's tough.
Oh,
I mean,
that's
you get a
great.
little distracted. When you go to Survivor, it breaks you down. You see each other at their highest highs and your lowest lows,
It's true.
and through it all, you're the greatest person I've ever met. I don't want to
And
spend
your
the
ass
rest of my
is
life with
smoking
you.
too.
Yeah, that's it. You're right.
Well, she's beautiful. Any idiot can see that.
You can see that. It's
But
beautiful.
out there on the
Mhm.
island, I just got to see a different side of her,
Yeah.
And she did sing.
Yeah.
She sung too.
She sang you songs that had been yet unsung.
Yeah.
Did you win her a car? I can't remember how many reward challenges you ended up winning out there, Zach.
No, I don't think she needs me to win her anything, though. She was not out there for the money. I'll say that.
Yeah, no. She was not.
That's why I knew it was a genuine bond.
Yeah,
Which is why I'm
she was just
confused
trying
why
to.
she won't return my calls. But
Yeah, I don't know. It's a little weird, but yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it seems to me that she
She's
just
busy.
was like looking for kind of just a new, kind of a flash in the pan sort of experience that she couldn't get just by going on tour. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
And out of all the wild cast of characters, she picked me, so
yeah,
I feel special.
it's pretty special. It's pretty special.
Yeah.
I mean, not all of us can say that they were really close with a K-pop superstar. So,
But hey, the thing you had with Con Baby, that's cool too.
I mean, yeah, I made friends with a baby. I feel like I can just connect with anybody after that happens. You know, little children. You know,
Look, I lost a spot in the final two. You got $100,000. You
I
got
did.
second place.
I did. That's paying off some college loans
But
right
I think I
there.
walked away with something so much more.
Yeah, I suppose if maybe she would reciprocate a little bit more.
well.
But
We're supposed to meet up sometime in the next couple months. But I would say, I mean, Alec and I, we did kind of run the show most of the time.
We did, yeah, it
very
was-
dominant duo. We made a lot of our decisions together, and a la like a Johnny Fairplay Burton situation. Burton came back, just like Alec came back, and
though we were on separate tribes at that point.
we were on separate tribes. That's true.
Yeah.
So there wasn't
But-
a point like
but-
with Johnny Fairplay where I had gotten you voted out, and then we
Yeah,
come back
and
together.
then reconnected, which is just wild, by the way. I can't believe that worked so well. But I think me and you could both agree that we sort of agreed that should we both make merge, that we would be a tight alliance
Mm-hmm.
because we knew each other ahead of the game. So
We knew each other.
yeah,
We knew each other outside of the game. It's true.
yeah.
And so it was the Tarqaron Alliance. It's amazing how it worked out that way. That we actually had that final two alliance. And I don't think there's really any doubt that either of us would take the other. Because as we saw here, Mary Mary takes you to the end and you lost anyway. So I think you would have
Yeah.
rather lose to me. And
Oh, 100%.
if I take you to the end, I think I win just because I didn't
Yeah,
get voted out.
for
So,
sure. Yeah. No, I think people appreciated that whole thing. See, to me, it was a closer vote than I'd like to admit. But I mean, it's interesting because all my alliances to that point crumbled. My alliance with you didn't vote for me. You would rather
I
you'd
did not
rather
vote
have
for you. I have too much integrity for this game to
yeah.
vote for
You have
someone
too
who
much
got voted
integrity of
out.
the game that I got voted out once already. I should not be eligible even to. I shouldn't even be on the stage at that point.
I was
guess you could say.
happy to make a final two alliance so you would get second place. I would have been fine with that. But first place, ooh,
Yeah.
sheesh.
Now remind me, who did Rusty vote for? I actually don't remember this.
I think Rusty voted for Mary as well. I believe so.
Did I really? Well, I mean, it only makes sense because you and Alec both voted me out, so I was a little bitter.
Yeah,
Tough for me to let that go.
I want to clarify, make sure.
Yeah, Rusty voted for Mary. Yes.
Okay.
John, Danny, and Clementine voted for me.
So yeah, it was literally everyone who you expected to have or thought you had a good chance of having their vote. You ended up losing. So it was pretty a wild outcome that it still ended up being that close, just not from the votes you'd expect.
Yeah.
And if you were able to, I don't know if there's anything else you could do. I mean, at that point, you got voted out. So I mean, second place is nothing to scoff at that point.
But even Joe Gardner couldn't vote for me. Even sweet old Joe Gardner couldn't vote for me. He voted for Mary.
Mary's got a lot of passion. She's passionate
Mary
about
just-
what she does.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Wow.
She put her heart
Mary
into the game.
also had 6 challenge wins. I mean, she was the legitimate,
Yeah,
challenge beast.
she kind of came out and I think wowed pretty much everybody. I mean, no one's expecting, a woman to come out and to come out and just dominate challenges. I mean, we had, granted, she was doing it against mostly other women and us three, but yeah, I mean, she just was destroying us on those challenges. She just did
Right, like
a really
we
great-
got people out in the beginning that you think would probably be good at challenges, like a Din Djarin.
Yeah.
Hal Pendragon could probably do some wild stuff,
Yeah, Mulan could have probably done a
Mulan.
little bit more too. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Mulan, like you give Mulan a bow and arrow, I mean, she wins that challenge. Straight up.
Immediately.
100%. Yeah. Mary Corleone, the Colby Donaldson of Tarqaron All-Stars too.
Yeah, so she's got like a flashier game, I guess, in a sense. I feel like you fell victim to the fact that people give me too much credit in that alliance, but then it's just like, well, he got voted out, so it's like Mary won all these challenges, so he's just been strung along here.
I don't remember the argument she gave very well because let's be honest, I was just basking in my own glory. But if I could take a guess as to what she would have said, it probably would have been something to the effect of like downplaying the fact that I've been voted out. The fact she played such a dominant game, she just must have come out with just everything swinging, all cylinders firing, and really just being a lot more passionate about the game than I did apparently at that final tribal council there because.
Something about the final tribal you've not been able to wrap your head around. You just haven't.
No,
been able
it's
to
just
get
I can't wrap my head around it. Don't know how it didn't turn out my way. However, the rationale behind your vote makes sense to me, and I guess that I'll have to have.
Yeah, it might just be how most of them voted. Honestly, like, it might have just been hard for them to vote, and it's hard for people to vote for someone who got voted out to win over them. It's like, well,
Yeah.
especially if you got voted out after the stage where you could come back. It's like, well, I mean, he
Yeah.
got a second chance. I didn't get a second chance. What is this? You feel robbed at that point.
Yeah.
Now, Rusty, you talked about the tribe you started with, but what about the Liberdicio tribe? How familiar were you with them? Would you think that would have been a better fit for you?
So Alec and I think we probably could have made a strong alliance. Con Baby is just
Tough
an
to work
anomaly.
with.
I don't know what's going on there.
Con Baby, you haven't seen Raya, have you?
I have not. No.
So that's got to be real
have not.
confusing. It's really tough when you see a baby step out onto the mat
Yeah,
on
it'd
the
be
island.
weird.
Mando, is that his actual name? Now this is an educational
No.
program because
It's
What?
Din.
Din Djarin?
I just use Mando as like the nickname that they'll use when like sending votes and stuff.
okay, well he might be tough to get through to. I don't know if he and I would have really hit it off. So, but yes, obviously very familiar with the Mandalorian source material. Loved it.
Well, it's hard to get a read
Um,
on that guy.
It really
Yeah, I know.
is. I mean, he doesn't
It's
take
hard,
off his
yeah.
mask.
The
So
whole
unless
mask thing, yeah.
unless we have Grogu running around to help him pull it off the mask, I don't know what he's thinking. Eliza Hamilton. I've never seen Hamilton, unfortunately. It's definitely on my list of things to do, but I don't know who she is. I don't know how to get through to her. So I know nothing about her. So I'd be again a fish out of water on this tribe so far. Hal Pendragon from Howl's Moving Castle. Who is that from, or what's that from?
Mm-hmm. How's me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Howl's Moving Castle, like you just said.
Yeah, so huge Studio Ghibli film. Never seen Howl's Moving Castle. I literally
Wow.
have it. So again, How Mulan. I've seen the new Mulan. I don't know how we would have gotten along just because
Language barrier, I would think. Yeah.
language barrier, and she also just seems so hard-headed. She really is focused on her goal, and I don't think whoever's in her way, she's going to do whatever it takes to get there. And again, me being the more personable person, has more soft skills, wants to get to know people. I don't know if she wants anything to do with that, so I don't think I'd really get along with her. John Milton, he just looks nuts. I don't think there's any chance we're getting along very well. And Mary Corleone, perhaps, but now I'm looking at maybe Alec and maybe Mary. Whereas in Amore, I felt like I could get along with Danny. I could get along with Joe Gardner, Michael Corleone. While we would have butted heads, I feel like I could have, lurked in the shadows behind him and helped him make big moves. But once he's voted out, then I take ownership and credit for a lot of the things that he did because I was the one pulling the strings behind the scenes.
You were pulling Michael.
Exactly. But yeah, Liberdicio, I don't think I would have done very well there at all. Outside of Alec, I don't think I had many allies there.
Yeah, now that you're saying that, it's true. I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of the people in Liberdicio are not like some of them are on edge, some of them are really distant. So it's hard to get in there.
It was a tough tribe, honestly. We were getting cut down pretty quickly too,
Hmm.
Yeah.
early on. So
But
You guys did lose a lot of immunity challenges early on.
yes.
but it ultimately ended up even. Ultimately
Yeah.
ended up even going into the merge. I remember that
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
like it also happened to be that one from each tribe came back as well.
Yeah.
So it was even. But yeah, there's
Pretty-
definitely
pretty wild.
on Amore, there are a lot of like more emotional people. So even if you don't know them, I feel like Rose, Clementine, Wanda, me, Danny. I mean, I feel like the whole tribe you can connect with on some level.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of hard heads on my end.
I do
that's
think
for
I feel
sure.
like you could have connected with Eliza.
Yeah.
She's got a kind soul. So,
Yeah.
Mm.
but yeah,
Myself and Mary. We're
Yeah.
the heart and soul of the hard-headed men on the tribe.
you can't help but love Mary.
You can't help. Well, are we talking about in the movie, or are we talking about how she played the game?
Yeah. Wait, have you seen Godfather Part 3?
I have
Can you say
not.
that?
No.
Yeah, she's an interesting character.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say she made it onto the season for her like being a stellar fan favorite character in that movie, but she's memorable.
Yes. John and Mary also had a big fight. Here's another moment everyone's talking about. John and Mary, big fight,
Mhm.
immediately form an alliance.
And didn't they go on a reward? And then there was some fighting after that as well.
I
Am
think so,
remembering that
yeah.
Correctly.
Very, very volatile.
There was something there. I mean, there's a weird connection there because John Milton looks a lot like Michael Corleone, who is Mary's father, and there's so many layers to it. It's unsettling to say the least.
It was very unsettling. Very unsettling. Yes.
But they seemed to be close, and then it was like hot and cold with them. But Mary, in the end, she made that stump speech, and she was like begging for his vote. Who did John vote for to win in the end?
John voted for Mary because I got Clementine. Who'd I get? I got Clementine,
Joe.
Danny. No, I got Clementine, Danny, and Wait, maybe John Milton did vote for me. Hold on, I just had it
I'm
up
thinking
here. So
maybe it
let me.
was John actually.
Yeah, John voted for no. John ended up voting for me. So that hot and cold dynamic ended up being cold. I would love to hear John explain that. It'd be
He
good.
probably had a really salty juror speech there.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I can only imagine.
yeah. Apparently, she just didn't want to go through with the plans that he had after the. So maybe some of the plans he had after Survivor. Maybe that was what she was a little scared by.
Yeah, well, is there anyone you'll keep talking to after the season here? You'd like to stay in touch with?
I think Rusty and Zach. I think that would. I think they would be.
I
I'd
don't
want to
know
stay in
about
contact
that.
with. Honestly, me and Con Baby had something going on, but she's got a lot of growing up to do. I think
It's weird to hang out with a baby. Like,
it's a little
It
weird. People
is.
people look at me very very
it's tough. Like,
very strangely.
Survivor
It's
is a different
tough.
thing.
It's tough. It's
Survivor, you're
tough. Yeah.
forced to live on an island together, and then it's like, all right, well, we
Honestly,
have to
Joe
connect.
Gardner, I'd like to just get some. I mean, I just want to like listen to the man talk, get some like life advice, maybe
Grab a
Yeah.
slice.
grab a slice, go out for a pizza, go out for a coffee, go out for ice cream, go listen to some jazz, man.
For
I
a
would love to just
lollipop.
hit the jazz club scene with Joe. It would be great.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Joe really came into his
Definitely.
own this season. I feel like he's probably a fan favorite here as well because like he really disheartened first vote out of the season. Nice guy, quiet exit, and then he comes back and makes such a presence on the season, fourth place.
He did. Yeah. I mean, he beat out a lot of people. It was really quite a feat. The man had a lot of soul. He
Right,
had a lot going for him there. So
Rusty, tell me, how do you feel about your experience overall in the season? What could you have improved on? What could you have done? What do you think you did well?
It was really fulfilling overall. If I'm going to play the game of Survivor, there's really two huge things that I want to be able to do. One of them is making the merge, and the other is making the family visit. And
Hmm.
I don't even think I made the family visit here, but I made the merge, and that's a huge success. And I was also very thankful that I was on a tribe with people that I could connect with. I made a alliance with Danny that stayed strong until I was voted out. I feel like Danny and I, she might give me a nice tour around Bly Manor sometime. That'd be a great time. We'd have some good fun. Um, I think my learning lesson coming away from my first season of playing Survivor is that I have to start playing with my head at a certain point. I can't always play with my heart because it's going to get me voted out. And I think that's also why I had literally the most votes against me for this season. I had 15 votes against me, which was the most. The second most was Joe Gardner. Two very likable people, two people that may have been fan favorites because they were so personable and likable on the island. So that's a learning lesson for me. I need to take a lesson from John Milton, be a little more hot headed once in a while, and make some tough decisions. Sometimes you have to cut off people at the expense of not a friendship, but potentially winning the game and getting you one day further. So, but overall, very satisfying experience.
Oh, that's good. I
yeah,
feel like it was tough, a tough pill for me to swallow, getting third place. After I felt like I was there, I thought
yeah,
final two for sure, and we were in a position where all we had to do was win that final immunity. At that point, it was like, I mean, our odds weren't great. We were like, we don't really win challenges, and Marriott's here as a challenge beast, so it wasn't looking good. But if we just won one challenge there, it's a whole different game. We're looking at the final two. I could have won that thing. I mean, it sucks, but I played my heart out. I can't.
you you gotta try. Honestly, like you put your heart and soul out there for sure. You played the game cunningly, played it well. I think we both played it well, but I ended up being the one to take the final fall.
Yeah, I
That
mean, in the
sucked.
previous season, you got second. I got voted out pre-merge,
Yeah.
and I was like, once you got voted out pre-merge, I was like, okay, maybe this is a reversal of fortunes. Now I make the deep run, but then you found your way back in there, and you got the second place again.
It was
And
absolutely wild. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't. These alternate timelines are one thing, in terms of in terms of us actually playing the game again. But wild to have that opportunity to come back, even just in this season.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag blessed. I can't. You can't really downplay the significance of being able to come back and still enjoy a time with everybody, even if no one respects it.
And we do.
Even if no one respects it at the end of the day.
I feel like they did. I mean, maybe they noticed more of your gameplay after watching the season back, and they're like, "Oh wow, he did more than I thought out there."
Yeah.
Maybe I should have given more credit, but yeah, it's tough to vote for someone who got voted out.
Playing the Chaos Crew, me and you, was pretty good, pretty fun.
Yeah. And we have to give some credit to Con Baby as well, who really, she played a ruthless game, honestly.
Yeah, fifth place, an infant child beat out like 11 other adults.
She got fifth place, and she did some crazy maneuvers like throughout the season. She would just go whatever direction she needed to stay in the game. I remember there was something like pre-merge with I forget what the vote was exactly, but it was something with you and Mulan. Oh yeah, Con Baby got kidnapped that one vote, and you barely survived. And then like Con Baby came back and betrayed like the one person who had worked with her. It was something wild there in the pre-merge. Con Baby was already making waves and like just flipping on a dime. So
and staying true to our alliance. Yeah, she did at one point. It was crazy.
But you guys didn't really reconnect too much. You guys made it the late game, but you weren't really on the same page for a while.
I think she probably felt betrayed by my and your bond that we'd had ahead of time. I think she probably didn't appreciate that.
Well, that's something bigger than the game, and your bond was confined to the game, so it's tough. Yeah. It's tough to beat that.
Yeah.
Honestly, great season though. I mean, it was a lot more, I feel like, interesting throughout than the original All-Stars season. I feel like it was consistently more interesting. It wasn't like vote out one from the same tribe until you have to turn on each other. It was like pretty even numbers in the merge and pretty fluid alliances. There was a lot going on there. And you had like some bonds with you and Joe had that bond from being voted out and being on the Outcast tribe together too. So that was interesting. You guys made it late in the game as well.
We made it that late, but apparently it didn't mean enough.
So there's like there's a lot of cross relationships and overlap between everybody in the final stages of the game, but ultimately Mary wins, who you don't even see brought up a lot in these alliances. There was a bigger alliance that consisted of a bunch of people that kind of ran the game more or less, but then you saw it break down to the closer factions. But Mary just fought her way to the end there. You got to give it up.
Yeah, those strong singular performances. Kind of wild. But
right, so is that it for the reunion show?
So, Rusty, just want to say no hard feelings. Me and Zach were just trying to shake things up a little bit,
You know what? Thankfully, I can look past it. I know it's just a game. We're still friends. It's all good. Look, we're here at the reunion. We're shaking hands. We're having fun. It's all good.
That's right.
And only one of us got money, has money to show for it. And we all were voted out. So, it's crazy.
Yeah. Wild.
So, hey, thank you for watching. Thank you for staying tuned for the reunion. Who do you think would be the, if they were to give out like a fan favorite award, who would it be this season?
It's got to be Joe Gardner, right?
Joe Gardner? I mean,
I think Joe, Joe serenaded us that one time at camp. We had a campfire. It was one night he just came out and he was just singing. It was almost like he had a piano. It was amazing.
That was a great moment.
It was wild.
That was a great moment. And he got really emotional thinking about back home, and he played the sad piano music.
Yeah, awesome. The soundtrack played the sad piano music. It was just it's extremely well edited scene. I really want to give it up to whoever came up with that music design there. That was really great.
I feel like Con Baby probably has a lot of love out there though. Like people love babies. I mean,
babies are adorable.
And Con Baby was a game player, and people love game players too. Best of both worlds. All right, well, thank you for watching. Hey, Rusty, where can everybody find you after all this is said and done? Everybody's situated back to their real lives.
Everything's settled down. You can find me on Twitter, AriLewis2011. I also record a podcast called Otaku Brothers, with my brother-in-law. We talk about video games, movies, TV, a whole bunch of things. I also have a movie-dedicated podcast called Box Office Bliss. You can find both of those shows on all your favorite podcasting apps. That's about it.
All right.
All right.
Radical.
Well, what video would you recommend our viewers go watch after watching this one, Rusty?
Well, since this simulation was based off of Pearl Islands, I think it only makes sense you do a 2-for-1 special. You go and watch your reaction to the Pearl Islands season finale, and then you might as well just click play on the reunion special that you guys did, reacting to that too, you know?
Yep, it's the only way you're going to get any Produce Ryan in there.
Yeah, that's right. You die jerks, right? Yeah, you got to get them in.
Jerks.
Die jerks.
All right, well, thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, subscribe to our podcast feed, like the video, leave a comment, hit the notification bell, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, Tarqaron TWO. All right. Still love you. I love you, Rosie, if you just didn't answer my call. I mean...
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to
that
happen.
meetup
Sorry,
we've
buddy.
been trying to arrange for a while. I thought we had a real thing going here.